Galatians chapter 5. It says here very clearly, and I love it, and I'm going to read it as it is. I'm not adding to it. I'm not putting any exegesis to it. I'm going to read it as it is. And the first word in Galatians chapter 5, verse 1 is the word stand. S-T-A-N-D. Stand. I gotta say to you, it's kind of not new to me. It's not scary or it's revolutionary or however you think the word stand means. But the word stand to me is comfortable, because I've found myself since becoming a Christian that I'm having to do so much standing, having to stand for our rights, to stand up to things that are wrong and evil and immoral and detrimental to good family health. Now, I'm talking over 35, 40 years. I've had to stand, learn to stand. I haven't particularly liked standing. I haven't been an easy servant for God to work with, I believe, because my flesh fights the fact that I have to stand and to say some things that most people won't say. And I don't blame you either, because I found out over the years she's a tough life. She can be real cruel to those people who dare to make a stand for what you believe and what is right, and not to be pulled into the crowd and the press and peer pressure, so that you now get caught up in this, what I believe is become a New Zealand problem. And excuse me, New Zealanders, if I say this, but we've fell asleep at the wheel. A generation or two have forgotten what our war heroes and your ancestors and my ancestors went away to fight in the world wars for. They went away to fight, and many of them did not come back. They died for our freedoms, for our liberties, for our rights, from an evil regime, a government that took away the liberties of their people and then increased their governmental and political powers. I'm talking about the Nazi Party. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a name that most Christians are familiar with. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was a pastor who withstood the government of his day. And they began to roll out, as the moment they got into power, they began to roll out these legislations. And these legislations took more and more of the liberties, the freedoms from their people. And then once they started to get that through, and the public were kind of, casual about it, they didn't see too much wrong with it, because what it didn't do immediately was affect them right down to where they were living. It didn't seem to have any effect in their homes. It wasn't good taking away some of our personal liberties and our freedoms, but it doesn't always begin to have its influence on you immediately. That's the trick. That's the delusion. You can still drive your car. Well, hello, even now, New Zealanders are driving around, and I can just see it right now. We're going to fall asleep at the wheel again, while something underneath the covers, very evil, has been put through our parliament, and it's going to have detrimental effect to you. It will catch you. Maybe the end parts of your life, but it's going to be absolutely terrible for our children and our grandchildren to live in this New Zealand.